Welcome to Post Game Podcast. I'm your host, June, and I got my co-host, Foster. What up, man?
Hey, man, this is what rock bottom feels like.
Man, I mean, I didn't expect to go 13-2. I didn't. I was hoping for more like to start off the season, at 500 perhaps. And it's a bad time for Piston basketball. Let's just keep it all the way funky. It's early, but at the same time, you do not want to start a season off like this. And the title of this joint is Why. It's like, why? Why? Not making any excuses, but I have theories on the horrific start. The horrific start. And I need Pistons fans to bear with us. Because Foster, like myself, Foster has an idea of what's going on. And a lot of it is self-inflicted things that's going on through the course of these first set of how many games? We're 2 and what?
I think 13, but let me check. Well, we're on a 12-game losing streak. But yeah, that sounds right because we started off 2-1. So yeah. 2-12.
Well, no, 12 grade losing streak. So it's 2-13.
2-13, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so
bad.
That's just bad. 2-13. So 15 games in. If you multiply 13 by 6, that'll get you at 78 games. And you look at like a 12-60 record at this pace.
Oh my God.
Just to give you some perspective on how horrible that looks.
The pace, yeah.
Yeah. Just to give you some perspective. Foster, this team is not good enough to turn the ball over like they have been. And they turn it over at a very high rate, and they turn it over at critical junctions. Cade is going to be a superstar, but he turns the ball over. He throws a lot of errant passes. He had one in the fourth quarter that was a bad pass. Just threw it away. Threw it to he was in traffic, and it was a pass that he didn't have to make. And he just threw it up, and they took it and ran down the other end. The injuries. The people that me and Foster that said would make this team successful have not touched the court. Bogey. Man. These are two people that, and you need Man for his leadership, ball handling. I think in a lot of these situations, you're not turning the ball over because he's running the show. The power forward that can shoot from the outside is what we want and what we were banking on to be successful. And Bogey hasn't touched the floor. You group all that in with a young team, and it's looking real dark right now. Running out of excuses of did you hear what Monty Williams said? Is it at some point being young is not an excuse for turning the ball over like that.
Yeah. He's over that.
So if you're looking at that and listening to that, it sounds like the coach is frustrated a little bit. Like, you're young, but you're turning the ball over at a crazy amount. Like, this is still basketball at the end of the day. I don't care how old you are. It's still basketball. And this team is not good enough. If you shoot the ball lights out, and I'll give you a perfect example. 2 years ago, Golden State won the championship 2 years ago. They turned the ball over a lot. Don't trust me? Look it up. Turn the ball over a lot. But guess what? They were so efficient at scoring that it really didn't matter how much they turned the ball over. So when you have a team like the Pistons whose asset isn't shooting, you know what I'm saying? Not only do they have a lower shooting percentage, but you're decreasing the amount of chances you get to shoot when you turn the ball over.
Right.
And I've been saying this for a week now, maybe two. But there was after the interview. Did you watch the interview after the game?
After the Denver game?
Yeah, not Dave Bing. What is his name? That does the play-by-play.
Kelser.
Yeah. He was saying when you don't shoot the ball as well and you're turning the ball over, you're just diminishing the amount of chances you have offensively anyway. You're already not making shots. Then you're giving up opportunities to shoot, which could possibly make your percentage higher if you get a chance. Now, in the fourth quarter, there were some questionable calls that weren't in our favor.
Of course.
They were very aggressive defensively. Caldwell Pope, he had a couple of strips. Didn't get he didn't get called for. I mean, I don't know if it was that clean. I think Cade had a shot at the rim where he was bumped in the chest, and they didn't call it. We're not getting the calls. Certainly last night versus Denver, they didn't get the calls that I felt they should have got. And what's frustrating the most, now that I mentioned that, we're playing these teams without their best player and losing. Giannis didn't play in the second half versus Milwaukee.
Mitchell didn't play.
Versus
Trae Young didn't play.
Joker didn't play.
Joker didn't play the whole game. What, the first 6 minutes of the game? Their coach got ejected.
These are games that you have to win. They don't have their best players.
These are rest games for them. They just rest their guys. We got this.
Played Atlanta Hawks. No Trae Young. Lose. How do you lose to Atlanta without Trae Young?
Murray's pretty good, but he's not that good.
He looked that good versus the Pistons.
He's good. But
he looked that good versus the Pistons. And it's
Trae Young averages 30 points and 10 assists a game. Like, that's a lot of production to make up.
It's just sad the way it's looking right now. And we need to repossess some buffs, man, until they get their act together, man. Because I don't think anybody on this team deserves the buffs. The way it's looking. I mean, what's the guy? I can't pronounce his name with the U. He shouldn't even be on the floor.
I mean, he's a decent player, but he really should be getting big minutes on the Cruise, not finishing the game against the NBA champion.
No knock to him at all. This is not a knock. We're talking about from a personnel standpoint. This guy is getting major minutes. So that's telling you how depleted the Pistons are. There's no way if you have a healthy Bogey, you have a healthy Jalen Duren, you have a healthy man, Monty Morris. He doesn't see the floor. He doesn't see the floor. Last night, Isaiah Livers played for the first time. I don't know his stats, but from when I watched, he didn't score at all.
He was okay. He had I think he had like 8 points.
Okay. He didn't score in the second half.
Oh, six. Yeah.
He might have scored 2 in the second half. I remember him having 4 in the first half.
Yuck. He's one for 7. Ugh.
That's ugly.
I mean, we're playing a G League. We're playing a G League roster at this point. You got guys like, and now the names I'm mentioning are not G League players, but Stewart ideally on a playoff team is not your starting 4. Bagley is having a solid year, earning his money. He is not your starting center if you're a playoff team.
No.
Killian Hayes. I think
you've said enough. You've said this is. Go ahead and finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just saying this dude was getting 30 minutes. This dude was getting 30 minutes a game, and I don't know if he started last night, but he did not finish the game. I think Ivy actually finished. No. Ivy. Yeah, I think Ivy started yesterday. And Killian came off the bench. Yeah, he came off the bench. 0 points, by the way.
Let me tell you something, man.
0 points.
We were working last night on the Lions show. Mm-hmm. So by the time we got done, the Pistons were well off until the second quarter or halftime. I think it was halftime they were done. It was at halftime when we were done.
Yeah.
So by the time I finish up, go upstairs, I grab me something to drink, go upstairs. I turn the TV on. I turn right to Ivy turning the ball over.
Bad timing, but yeah.
Bro, it just goes to show this is what's happening. This is a common theme.
Yeah.
They're all turning the ball over. They are very careless with the ball. Very careless. Very careless. And I never known Denver to be such a defensive juggernaut.
No.
They were getting a lot of swats and a lot of steals and a lot of block shots. It was wild, man. It was just, and then you had, and he makes me so mad. What was the guy that was here?
Reggie Jackson or
Reggie Jackson, man?
Ooh, he got off.
He was hitting some shots in the fourth quarter, like, and I know he's capable. He's made those shots here, and I'm not saying I'm not saying he didn't play well here. He just didn't play enough because he was injured all the time. But
he's good and healthy over there.
He's very healthy as
an older player. My bad, I'm yelling.
And he hit some shots last night, and I'm like, you sorry son.
KCP.
You would come back in KCP. You would come back. Michael Porter hit a couple threes in the third quarter, late in the third quarter.
That's what he does.
And it's like the way they were hitting shots, I'm like, yeah, we definitely gonna lose this one. Even though the Pistons was up 4 in the fourth quarter, I'm like, nah, it's just
we were up.
It's just not going. They're not going to maintain it. They're throwing the ball away, and next thing you know, Denver's up 5 with 2 minutes left. And I'm like, yeah, it's a wrap.
It's just to a point now where we have developed a losing culture. We have not learned how to win games, and not to bring up the team that's now first place, top of the the league, but we used to have this problem over at Ford Field that we just didn't know how to close games. So even when we were in control, you just knew we were going to find a way to lose. And I feel like at this point, the Pistons have done that game in and game out. The Trailblazer game, the Sixer game, the what other games that we had where we were pretty much in control. We had good opportunities to win, and we just weren't able to shut the door.
Atlanta.
Oh, yes, Atlanta. That's the one. So we just have zero leadership. Burks, I think, is our lone veteran guy right now. But I just don't think that we have anybody that's really present that can come in there and lead by example and vocally. I don't see anybody. Is there a guy on the team that you feel is in charge of setting the tone and leading by example? Because I see the turnover bug spreading to everybody. I think Livers threw some balls away yesterday, and it's just like, this is really a contagious thing. Like, it's becoming, they're building habits that are spreading to players that haven't even played this year. Livers had two. He had 2 turnovers, but
I think everybody had at least 2 turnovers, and that's what's crazy.
Yeah, Ivy had 4. Yeah.
How many turnovers did Cade have yesterday?
5. Oh yeah, he gonna lead. 5 is the most.
You cannot lead the team in turnovers every night, bro.
Every night.
He does it every night.
He had a great, and he had it numbers wise, efficiency wise. Well,
how many assists did Cade have last night?
9. And nobody else had more than 3.
That's a 9-to-5 ratio, assist to turnover ratio. It's in good.
Yeah,
that's less than 2-to-1.
It's a work night, but it ain't a good.
No,
a work day, but it ain't a good. It's not a good ratio.
Your point guard needs to have at least a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, Sasser didn't really play 5 minutes.
He must be hurt.
I think he's just fallen back out of favor because he's been kind of. I mean, 5 minutes is not a lot of minutes, but I don't know. He stopped being as impactful. He just kind of seemed like he was throwing up shots. He wasn't really creating enough. Obviously, Ivy is back getting those minutes, and your boy Killian gonna get his. Although he had 0 points yesterday, which was, back to back to what the Killian we know and love. So, just no leadership, and we're just continuing to not take care of the ball. We're dead last in turnovers, and we're just not good enough to get to it started. Yeah. So Gabe Peterson said the dysfunction in this organization starts from the top.
I forgot to look at the tournament. I mean at the comments, my fault.
Yeah, this is the first. Yeah, that was the first comments right there. But shout out to Gabe though. He's always tuning in.
Yeah, shout out to Gabe, man. What up, though? I don't know. Like, I honestly thought the GM was doing a pretty good job putting this roster together.
Yeah, I mean the roster, the way the roster was put together was a little, it wasn't perfect alignment, but we still haven't really seen a lot of these guys play together. So it's tough to put it. I mean, except for the Monty Morris one, I really don't know who to blame on that one. But if he truly was not healthy when we made that move, I want to point the finger at somebody on that one, because that was a pointless acquisition if he was going to sit half the year.
Yeah. Especially if you're turning the ball over like that and it's a young team and he is a veteran point guard.
That was it.
Um, one of the things that just I would like to see the players that are available for 10 games straight. I like to see how it would look 10 game stretch with Duran, Bogey, Monty Morris, Cade, the regular cast all healthy at once. Just want to see a 10 game stretch.
Yeah, I hate the fact that by the time we get an opportunity to see that, the season will be over and it'll be time to trade some of those veteran guys. And who's to say that these veterans that we're trading for, hopefully some high draft, some first round picks, or who's to say? I mean, it's to the point now to where it's like, obviously, young, super young teams don't, young with talent, that does not equal wins because we're plenty young and we are not winning a lick right now.
Hold that thought, Foster.
Yep.
It's just atrocious, Foster. It's looking really, really bad out here. Like I said, we need everybody healthy. And like you mentioned, by the time I think everybody's healthy, we'll be the laughing stock of the NBA by then.
Oh, it's too late. We are that right now.
And what's even crazier is the draft doesn't look like it's going to be plentiful as it was the year before.
Right.
And that'll be the year where we'll get the number 2 or number 1 pick.
We'll get the cream of we'll get the best of the best that year, but it's like
couldn't get it last year, couldn't be in the Wemby sweepstakes, even though I am not mad for Asir Thompson.
Asar
Thompson. I think he's going to be very good for us. Not mad at that pick at all. Not mad at that draft.
The reclamation.
Gabe says the 2020 draft and the reclamation projects we've taken a chance to have all caught up to us.
Yeah. Wiseman is
well. You remember the year when Sadiq, Bey, Stewart. We didn't have but 1 pick, but we wound up with 3 picks, and we were thinking, "Oh, this is great." Well, Stewart's held up on his end of the bargain. Bey's gone. Who was the 3rd pick? It was somebody else.
It was Stu. It was Stu, Bey, and Hayes.
And Hayes. Need I say more?
That's the Halliburton year.
Did we pass up Halliburton?
Oh yeah, a lot of people did though. The Knicks did. A lot of teams are kicking themselves over that one.
We took Killian Hayes over Halliburton.
I think we took Killian over Desmond Bane. I don't know how familiar you are with Desmond Bane and
Memphis Grizzlies. Yes,
he's pretty good. He's a good shooter.
I was saying because I paid attention to Halliburton when he was at Iowa State.
Oh, did you?
And he was pretty good there, and they were saying we wanted a point guard, and I was like, Halliburton's your guy. Yeah. And he was like, he's a tall point guard, and I'm like, this is the guy.
He doesn't physically. He didn't really pass the eye test. I'm guessing we saw, Killian being, having that good size and, yeah. Stu was definitely a stretch as a starter.
We're gonna read. I'm gonna read that comment. So
yeah, go ahead.
Gabe has 2 comments I'm gonna read out loud. You got 1 NBA starter from that draft, and you had 5 picks. That is correct. And that starter is Stewart and Gabe also says, and Stu as a starter is a stretch. As you mentioned, Foster, this is your starter who probably wouldn't be a starter anywhere else.
I think he could start somewhere else in the right situation.
Okay, let's say on a playoff contender he wouldn't start.
Nah. Nah. Not an everyday 82,
No.
maybe in a pinch
Now,
if you're
I do like his hustle. I just don't think he's dependable enough to be a starter. He's turning the ball over too.
next to Duren. It worked because Duren was owning the a 5. I don't even like him as a 5. He's like 6'6". Stu is only like 6'8", for real. Backup 5 though. Backup 5, I can see that. Because you're because their backup is not going to be 7 feet tall, probably. But yeah, I think one of the biggest outside of Bogey, we haven't seen him play. Monte, we haven't seen him play. Livers, we've seen what Livers is bringing you, and it's not that much. But the fact that Duren has been hurt, that's when we looked. That's when the Pistons fans that were excited and ready for it was when Duren was dominating down low.
Yeah.
Without him, that's when we really started to fall apart.
Plummeted. And I think you have something in Detroit that's young, but it just haven't been healthy. You got Thompson, Cade, and Duren on the floor. You got something there. Yeah. And if you put Bogey in there and you put, I don't know, you have it, and you don't have to use Killian, you know what I'm saying? I think it makes everyone better. I think Jaden Ivey is more of an asset with these people on the floor at the same time. You know what I do, Foster? If my team was really, really not that good in practice, you know what we'd be working on? Defense. If you if you can't do anything, you're going to defend, right? You're gonna try to get your. Hopefully, this defense will turn into transition points and easier buckets, and it'll make everybody else work harder offensively. Pause. It'll make other teams, have to work that much more, and they know they're not coming into, and then like if you're playing defense and they miss a few shots and they know you as a defensive squad, that rim gets a little smaller.
Yeah.
So if I'm that terrible of a team, one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna play defense and we're gonna rebound and we're gonna hustle. If we can't put the ball in the basket and we turn it over at a high clip, we're gonna play defense. Yeah, Durant, Gabe says in the games he won, he was elite defensively. He was catching alley oops. He was running the floor. If he didn't block a shot, Thompson was coming from the weak side blocking shots. It was just a big difference when Jalen was on the floor. It's just the Pistons are a different team without Jalen Duren. Just a different team, and they look promising. Even in the first loss to Miami, they looked like they could play with others, and then they won the next two, and it's been.
I forgot how it felt to win. Honestly, that was what, a month ago? Before Halloween, maybe?
It was a couple weeks ago.
13 games, man. 12 games. What is 12 games, man? But yeah, I think the best Cade is a good basketball player.
That turns the ball over
Yes, I mean all the good ones
a lot.
turn the ball over, but I think that he is not. He needs help. He needs help. Um,
He
he,
shouldn't have to handle the ball as much if he's going to. I told you a long time ago what should happen, right? I think Cade uh, needs to be off the ball more. I think uh,
so
he
who's
should,
on ball if he's off?
that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the
Because
problem we have.
Ivy's starting now. I think that Ivy
He
had
turns the
an.
ball over too, and I think this you're going to have the same problem. And I don't, like I said, I don't have a solution, but I have a solution for Cade. Now it's up to everybody else to do better, but I think Cade should be ran off screens more in the half court offense, uh, where he can catch and drive, catch and shoot, where he doesn't have to do so much of running in transition and bringing the ball up, and you know, I think that's what needs to happen for him, at least until he gets his confidence up. When you start getting those numbers up and balling, you start to play a little different all the way around the board. So, but these injuries, man, I can't stress, and I'm not making excuses, but these injuries hurt us more than anything. We need Bogey on the floor.
Okay, so Gabe said Cade needs to start foul baiting more like last game when his shot isn't falling. Yeah, he shot like I think he went like however many free throws he took, he made them all. It was like 10, it was like 11 for 11 or 9 for 9. He was definitely getting to the line last game, and that's what we've been waiting on as well. Um, but yeah, I think that at Cade's highest at Cade's highest ceiling, he's got somebody, he's got a lob threat, and he's got shooters like Bogey around him. I think that the Killian project is officially over with. I think that Ivy is going to be starting moving forward now that he's recovered from his sickness and all that. So at this point, I don't know if it's about winning ball games, but I definitely want to see Ivy play max minutes. Bogey is back. It has been cleared for all basketball activities, so he's moving back into the fall. Monte Morris, we'll see him around February or something because they said 6 to 8 weeks for him, and he'll be reevaluated. So I don't that doesn't mean reevaluated. Just means that check with us then, and we'll let you know where he's at with it at that
That's
point.
why I'm
So
laughing, man. It doesn't mean he'll be back. It means we're
yeah,
going to look at it again.
because he was sick. He was what? He was 6 to 8 weeks last time to be reevaluated. So that don't mean nothing. Duran, I think, is coming back to practice this week. So but yeah, I just want to at this point, I just want to see the young players. Wiseman. I mean, Wiseman hasn't been great. He hasn't. But there's no reason to not give him every opportunity at this point because he's in a contract year. So we need to see. He had a good game against Toronto. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Pistons were not ruining my Sunday. I didn't watch that game, whatever that was. Whatever they want to call what that Toronto game was. But Wiseman had good numbers. I'll just say that. So
it was a scrimmage.
just yeah, and we didn't fare well. But so yeah, give Wiseman as many minutes as he needs because yeah, it's I don't know. It's bad. It's bad. That's all I can say. This has not been an enjoyable experience these last couple weeks.
It's like this, Foster, and I'm gonna keep it real with the audience. I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. It's difficult to do the show when they're playing this that bad. Now I'm dedicated to do the show. I'm not gonna quit.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up to do this because uh, I just knew we were going to be 82-0 or anything like that. Uh, but it's a lot less desirable to get on here and fuss and whine every episode. Say what if, say injuries,
Yeah,
say turnover.
the what ifs are the worst because it's like we know what it could be. Like even the refs and talking about how if we got better, more favorable calls, that stuff is so irrelevant. But my bad, I cut your wisdom, man.
No. You that's the worst part. You hit the nail on the head, bro. The what ifs are the worst because, but what else do you have to hold your head on? You know, I mean, it's like this is a team that's decimated with injuries. Like you go to any team right now, any team that's with a winning record, and you take away their uh their their veteran, the most veteran guard they have to depend on, their best player, and right now their starting center. You take away those three from any team, and they're not going to be the same.
Yeah, and this was I was thinking about this earlier. Like I compared it to because you look at all these other teams. There, your Mitchells, your Embiids, and your LeBron, like all the top players in the league, and they're all playing. And then and me as a Pistons fan, I'm looking like, damn, this is like Christmas, and you don't get and the presents is right there, but you don't get a chance to play with them. It's like I see everybody else enjoying their gifts. Where are our gifts? And it's just like I feel like we could be so much better. I feel like.
Yeah, we could be. We could
But
be.
who knows? Who knows? But
No,
it's just because in years past, I feel like so many of the stars have been injured, and I feel like right now everybody's healthy. Who's not healthy right now? Who's dealing with major? Yeah, I mean, other than that, everybody else is playing. Levine and Giannis and Curry. Everybody's stars are playing right now. I don't know. It's whack.
it is whack, bro. It is whack. And I'm trying to find out when the next time do the Pistons play?
Friday. We got a nice little break. Don't ask me who they playing because I don't know. Let's see. It'll be after the Pacers. Another
Oh, that's another L.
bro.
That's another L. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't have said that.
That's a good team. That's a good team. The Pacers. I've been watching their progression since they traded for Halliburton, and I knew they were going to be good because they just got, they got Miles Turner. They got Bruce Brown now. Who else they got? They got Bobby Hill. Not Bobby Hill. It's Buddy Hill. They got some good players over there, and
This is
they got
horrible.
Obi Toppin. Pause. And it's another one of the those tournament games. We're 0-3 in the tournament, by the way.
Yeah. With a record like 2-13, we're 0-3 in something.
Unfortunately, the Bulls game, we beat the Bulls. We beat the Bulls
and then lost to them in the tournament game.
Right. Because I was saying the Bulls and the Hornets very well could have been tournament games, but it was too early in the year because we could be up 2. But yeah, I think the losing for that third time eliminated us from any type of contention as far as that's concerned. So yeah, we ain't got nothing to play for at this point. I haven't looked at the standings. You know,
we shouldn't be saying that in November.
it's so early.
We
Yeah.
shouldn't be saying that in November.
Because if we had weathered the storm, we had, kept the ship steady early on, we could say, all right, now we're healthy. Now we can cook. But we're so far behind already. And just seeing the energy on the bench after that Toronto game from Cade and Stewart, these are guys that are super competitive, and you rarely see them really down, but I know it's got to be eating at Stewart. Stewart's been here since 2020, and he ain't won nothing yet. Did he play with Blake Griffin?
Yeah.
Okay, so he played his rookie year with Blake Griffin. So they won a little bit that year, right?
I don't know.
They won more than they've won this.
I mean, that's the year when he was acting like he was hurt and couldn't dunk.
Yeah. But we still had Blake Griffin, bro. We had, who else do we have? That team had some players. We had D Rose. We had who else? We had Jeremy Grant. Did we have Jeremy Grant that first year?
Yeah, Jeremy Grant.
We had some players.
We had Jeremy Grant 2 years ago.
That's why this year feels so bad. It's like, in years past, we had some guys.
Yeah.
And that was alongside Sadiq, and because that was part of it. And I'm going off on a tangent, but that was part of it. It was like, all right, we got to get Blake and D Rose out of here because we got Sadiq and Stewart and Hayes. So they were kind of eating up their minutes and stuff like that. But obviously the Sadiq experience fell to the wayside, and now we're rebuilding again. But yeah, we had some players a couple years ago. We had D Rose and Blake Griffin, granted on the very tail end of their careers, but we had some players. Who else do we have? This was after Kennard.
Hold that thought, Foster. Hold that thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll be back on the other side. We're back, and we're still trying to figure out why. I'm all out of all I can say is turnovers, young team, injuries.
Yeah.
There has to be a better approach. Has to be. I mean, because they're better than 2-13, bro. And in some of the games, they're getting blew out, and they're not even looking like they belong on the NBA floor.
Just a couple, though. I felt like we haven't been getting torched.
Okay. The Toronto game was very sickening.
Oh yeah.
Was it Philly?
No, that game was. That's Embiid got kicked. No, what happened in that game? No. Embiid and Maxey had good second halves, and they ended up winning that game. But that game was competitive.
It was competitive, okay.
Especially in the first half. We were winning in the first half.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess after getting kicked in the teeth by Toronto,
that one is the one for me.
That just, I don't mind. I don't have a problem with losing and the effort is there, but to get like dragged like that. But there was a couple games where we were down in the 20s and came back. So
right, so it is misleading.
It looks like, it doesn't look that well cosmetically in the game, but the final score, you still lose, but it just, you got to beat Atlanta without Trae Young.
The Blazers was a nasty one.
We was up most of the game versus
Scoot Henderson was hurt too,
Yeah. There's just no reason for that. Sunday is going, and you play Indiana. Indiana's playing great ball right now. Great ball.
Oh, they're the Wizards. We gotta beat the Wizards.
Now watch Jordan Poole hit for 40
in Detroit too.
in Detroit.
It's Monday. Lakers,
This
Knicks.
can't
This
be
schedule. Oh my god! Just listen to this schedule after
Tell me the
post
schedule, Foster.
Wizards, Lakers, Knicks, Cavaliers, Pacers again. Oh my god! And then a back-to-back with the 76ers. Home and away with the 76ers, and then the Bucks. Like where's our break? I guess. What's the easiest game? The Knicks out of that one? Maybe the Knicks.
That would be it would be the Wizards.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah. The Wizards, yes, of course, the Wizards. Yeah, the Wizards.
And I don't know. Is that an easy game for them or an easy game for us?
Well, yeah.
What's their record?
They have 2 wins. They have 2 wins as well, but they have 2 less games.
Oh, so
we've played
the percentage is better.
Their percentage it would be better, yes, with less losses. But yeah, that's a tough schedule. I guess when you're the worst team in the league, there's no easy games to look forward to, but like a back-to-back with the 76ers and then we get the Bucks after, like, come on, like that's crazy. 76ers are, I think they're probably second in the East right
now. Foster, what are we gonna do, man?
I'm a skim these games. I don't have the energy to just lock in and then just watch. You know, the Bogey game, when Bogey comes back, I will definitely lock in for that game. When Duran returns, that'll be worth watching.
How you 19 and hurt, man?
Yeah, 20. So you're getting old now. He can't even buy a beer yet, but you know, he's 20 now. But we are getting healthier. I will say that. Not better, but healthier. Yeah.
Foster, it just doesn't look good, bro.
No. There's no optimism outside of the fact that we may get a chance to see some of these guys that we haven't seen play. So we can fantasize about what could have been for the early part of the year, but I don't see any light at the end of the
tunnel. So there's no time frame for Bogey to come back.
No, he's clear. He's been cleared for basketball. He's been cleared to begin basketball stuff. So my guess would be maybe next week.
Well, he need to rear on the court then.
Hey, we saw him shooting around like a week ago. And we were like, hey, get okay, here it goes. He begun return to play progression. Has begun a return to play progression and is clear for full basketball contact. He will continue these progressions and begin practicing with the team in an upcoming day. So he's gonna start practicing real soon.
By then,
so I say next week. I say next week we see him play.
2-20 before he touches the floor.
Hey, 2-20, another 7 games. I hope not. Another 7 games.
So
it is a long year, because that's only once we get to 2-20, we're only a quarter of the way through the year. That's the crazy part about it.
So what would it take for starting today? What would it take win-loss wise to turn it around? Would it take like a 10-game winning streak?
I mean, 10 game is very unrealistic. I'll take
7 and 3.
7 and 3. I'll take 7 and 3. And that's kind of realistic. That's kind of realistic.
Not with this schedule coming up, but
honestly, we played the Sixers and we easily could have won that game. We played I don't think any of those other teams we've already played, but we played we played tough with the Warriors. We played tough with a lot of teams. And we just didn't shut the door. So we played tough with the Heat. The Heat are a good team. They went on a 7-game winning streak, I believe, earlier this year. So, I mean, the Pacers are good, but they're not unbeatable. I still don't know, if they're a playoff team per se. So, these are winnable games. The Lakers, I think the Lakers can be beat. The Lakers, and it all depends on whether LeBron plays that day. I can see LeBron sitting the Pistons game. We played the Nuggets tough, and they won the whole thing. We played the Nuggets and the Heat, both teams that played in the finals. Both those games came down to the wire. Correct?
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, all these games are winnable games, but we have to learn how to win. And I think I don't think people understand how tough it is to close a NBA basketball game, because time and time again we have let leads get away from us in pivotal moments due to us not getting shots off, because we don't even get one up before we throw the ball away. Like,
pause.
Yes.
That was crazy.
I'm gonna just assume that, yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
We got to do something, man. We got to do something. 2-13. The next game is
Friday.
Next game is Friday versus
Pacers. They're pretty good.
Yeah, there's also man. This was our nightmare, Foster. We didn't we thought before the season started that we could at least have a 500 record or better. But we didn't imagine a 2-13 start.
No. I would have laughed. At anybody that said that. I would have been like, we wouldn't be that bad. Maybe 5. How many games? 5-10. I'd be like, okay, maybe 5-10. That's not really good at all. But 2-13 was not on my bingo card for the start of the year. Just wasn't.
This is very difficult, man. This is trying times for a Piston fan, and I'm not ready to throw in. I don't mind losing. I just want to see improvement. I don't want to see 15 to 20 turnovers a game. I don't want to see all these injuries. If we're going to lose, don't let it be where we're losing because we're throwing the ball away. Or we don't have we're depending on a G League player to make shots for us. That shouldn't happen.
Shout out to Stanley.
I mean, it's bad for him because what if he's not fully ready to be on the floor? You're tampering with his development as a whole.
Yeah. How old is he? I don't think he's a.
It's not about age; it's about skill. Skill development. Like, what if you're putting him in a position where he's not ready yet, but that's what you got.
Oh, he's 24. Yeah, I don't think there's any more developing left. He's been gone.
Skill developing, you can always develop skills.
24.
You can always develop a mentality.
He's 5 years older than Asar Thompson.
I'm just
and Duran.
but I don't. it's not about age. It's about mentality. It's about everything. It's so many factors and variables that go into it. Uh, there's some players that didn't turn out to be good until their sixth or seventh year in the league. You do
Yeah.
have some players with that kind of turnaround with 4 years of college. So
Well, yeah, they're unicorns, but yeah.
it happens. I mean, and it's just, or if you put him, I don't know I can't pronounce his last name. His first name Stanley, right?
You move there, yeah, Stanley.
If you put Stan on a team like the Celtics,
He ain't playing.
yes, but he's practicing with those guys.
Yeah.
They have a winning mentality.
Yeah.
They have a positive locker room. All of this plays effect into your development as a player. So if he's doing this and he's on this team, and let's say, for instance, they say we don't need you next year, and you go to a team like the Pistons, and you go in there and you trying to show them, hey, I played with Boston people on Boston. That team is better than this one. You go in there balling. That kind of thing can happen.
Yeah.
But that's fantasy. That's not what's going on. We need to quit turning the ball over. We need to play some defense. We need to rebound, get back to the basics, win a few of these games that are close, within reach, and quit throwing the game away. We're not going to sit up here and whine over injuries. We've had injuries all year. It's time to play some defense. It's time to rebound and just play without worry. But then again, when they do that, they turn the ball over. So at some point you just gotta, let it all loose, man. Well, that about wraps it up for tonight's show. I know it wasn't in the best of spirits.
Maybe next time, man. Maybe we'll go on a little run.
But when you're 2-13, man, this, you're gonna get the real from us. You're gonna get the mood of the record and the team with us. We're not gonna come on here and sugarcoat anything. You're not gonna get the sugarcoating. You're gonna get the real. And right now is not a good time for basketball in Detroit. It's just not a good time. It can get better. We do have faith. We're going to keep watching. We're going to keep the faith. We're going to hope that this team starts to learn from their mistakes. They start to listen to the coach. Not saying they're not listening to the coach, but you can tell Monty's getting a little frustrated.
Yeah.
You can see their body, their English, the body language is speaking everything after a timeout, or you can see it on their faces, the disappointment and the frustration. So I just hope at some point soon that it begins to turn around and the culture changes. Because if the culture changes, anything can happen. Confidence goes a long way. Boss, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, just subscribe to us on all podcast platforms. Yeah, subscribe to us.
Why would we subscribe to you two talking about the Pistons and their 2-13, Foster? Tell the people that.
I like watching. Sometimes I like watching, listening to content when the team's losing, because it's just so much more. I don't know. Negativity is sometimes entertaining.
That was very good, Foster.
That was real. That was real for me. Like
that was very good.
Yeah. Nobody wants to listen to it, when they're all winning all the time and everything's happy and joyous. Like nobody wants to hear that, right?
You got to see the the beginning and, the struggle in order to enjoy the success. So now is a good time. Right now is a good time to start watching the Pistons and watching this podcast, because right now you'll see the struggle. But Pistons win 10 games in a row one day, and you'll see me and Foster on this show talking so much stuff. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. And that's going to happen this year.
This year?
All right, I'm out. Female.